Hi, my name's Adam. This is the Out of Collective, and today we're talking about new product for 2024 at Cannon Mountain over in Franconia, New Hampshire. So if you're wondering what the best performance all-mountain ski boot is going to be for 2024, it is the new Fisher RC4 130 with a zip fit liner. This has all the bells and whistles, and you are certainly paying for it. It is $1,000, a little over that actually, and it comes with all the bells and whistles, including the new BOA system that you'll see across the board in so many different boots from many different brands going into the new season. We'll talk about that first because obviously it's one of the big touch points for so many people as we go in, and then we'll go into the details of the boot itself. So BOA replaces the two lower buckles on your boot. Those buckles typically are looked at as the least important of the four buckles, right? The bottom one usually just keeps snow out and kind of secures the bottom part of your foot, and then the one over the instep, which is honestly a big problem area for a lot of people with higher insteps, controls your foot, sets it down. The nicest thing about a BOA system replacing those is you now have one control mechanism that tightens the boot down for both buckles, and it actually creates a more even feel all the way around the foot. It makes it feel like it's wrapping, kind of overlapping the boot the way it was designed to originally, as opposed to just crushing down with those buckles previous. I will say, for someone with a high instep, this boot has never fit me, and this year I can actually ski this boot with the buckles closed, and I can wrench on this thing as much as I want, and it doesn't cause any pain, and it actually adds a little bit of security. The benefit that no one's really talking about this too, is it actually takes the part of the lower shell that you normally would see, like you wouldn't see any impact from the two lower buckles, and it actually sucks that part in as well. So it gives you a better like shin area feel on the ski boot. So that's basically the benefit of the BOA system. How it works, like any BOA system, it just twists to tighten, and then you can loosen it and release that tension, which you can't do on other BOA systems. Just turn it back the other way and it loosens, and obviously when you're ready to be done, you can just pull that bit out and get in and out of your ski boot. You tighten back down, super quick, easy adjustment, and it really allows for fine tuning that isn't available with other buckle boots. We can talk about some of the downsides to BOA stuff at a later date, but the one thing that everybody's asked me about is durability. One, the cables are so much thicker on these boots than they are on other boots, and like there is next to no chance that something natural is going to break this thing. You'd have to go and get a pair of wire cutters and really wrench on it for this cable to break. One of the things that I actually like the most is they thought about, okay, now there's a wart sticking outside of the boot. What's going to happen when people impact it? Well, BOA has built in, with the help of all these ski manufacturers, a release mechanism. So on impact, this BOA wheel will come off. So you're not going to be worried about just going out and switching something crazy every time you knock your buckle or your BOA into a system. Obviously still covered under lifetime warranty from BOA, so that's not an issue. And changing this cable is actually super simple. If you do have to replace the wheel, it's similar to changing a cable on a shifter rather. So huge fan of this. I actually think it's going to be a big benefit. Some brands are not doing this, but Fischer has actually added a little bumper, so the BOA is kind of recessed into the boot more than it is on other brands. Makes it super comfy, and it also protects the BOA from being impacted unnecessarily. So that's the BOA side. Enough talking about BOA for now. We'll also talk about the fact that it has a zip fit liner out of the box. Zip Fit has been known for their super long lasting liners that you can get up to 1,000 days in. It's pretty insane to think that a liner that normally lasts 150 ski days, if that, and by 150 it's completely clapped out, you get almost 1,000 days in a stock liner. So first time ever that Zip Fit has had a stock liner available in a boot, and it's with Fischer. So they've added a few other things, including their speed lace system that Fischer uses in their Nordic stuff has come on over to the Alpine side of things. So it's much smaller than a traditional Zip Fit. It works better, and it's really simple. Obviously, as you start to break in the boot, like any Zip Fit, you can add and inject cork into areas that you need it to make the boot fit better and give it a more, basically just give it a tighter feel overall. In addition to that, this is a 140 flex. This is a stiffer boot. It's actually really comfortable, and I normally am skiing a 130 flex touring boot as my daily driver. This has been actually a pleasure to go skiing on. Carbon infused cuff, so it's actually pretty lightweight for a performance all mountain boot. It's stiff, it's agile, and it's actually got a ton of energy to it. And that's one of the side benefits of adding a carbon cuff, is that the boot actually feels springy even though it is really stiff. So for someone looking for a performance boot that still is going to have a bunch of energy and not feel like they're pressing up against a brick wall, this is a really, really good option. They make an LV version for low volume feet and a medium volume version for the rest of us. PU shell on the lower part of it, so traditional all mountain plastic, tried and true. We know it works, and I've been a huge fan of this boot for a while, and I'm really, really glad that I finally can have one that fits my foot well and is super adjustable. Last thing I'll kind of talk about on this boot is the weight. You would expect a boot like this to be super heavy, but it's actually all the way down to 2,185 grams in a 26.5, which is not particularly heavy for a boot of this caliber performance. So super impressed with the way this thing came out. Again, you're paying for it. It's $1,000. I mean, it's not like you're going to buy this boot every day, but it's a boot that you can expect to last multiple seasons and get the best possible performance out of it. Obviously, all the normal bells and whistles, like having a grip walk sole that's super durable, PU shell like I mentioned, removable inserts in the back, and everything else that comes with it. Nice power strap from Fisher as well. Huge fan of this thing. This is the Fisher RC4 Pro with a zip fit liner.